Hey guys, it's Tombox, and we're just doing Doom of Dimension combos. The most impactful ones, the ones that you're going to see, and the ones that are actually going to change the landscape of the game. It might not look all that different for some combos, but the other ones, man, it is an absolute game changer. So stick around, hit the like button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. I'll explain every step along the way, and hopefully you guys learn a little bit of the new format.
Post-DOOD K9 Vanquish Soul combo. This is the one card combo for K904 Noroi. So this is how it works. If you have a kind of a bricky hand, or you have this card in your hand, you can perform a very safe way to attempt a pseudo bridge into the Vanquish Soul engine through one K9 card, and it is Noroi. This is how it works out. So I'm gonna attempt the normal summon of Noroi because your opponent controls 2 or more cards in their hand, and this is like a tour guide for K9 monsters, especially summoning out the Jokel out from the deck. This particular effect locks this Jokel in by forcing us into K9 monsters while this is still face up on the field. So we're going to activate the Jokel to add Lantern into our hand. Next, we're going to overlay our 2 monsters into a K9 monster, and that's going to be the Ripper. We're going to activate the Ripper to detach. We're going to detach Noroi specifically, and that's going to provide us with a copy of another Jokel, provide us with additional follow-up. We're going to activate the Lantern, and Lantern onto the Noroi, summoning back Noroi here. Now, before we get the hand check, we're going to activate the Lantern to get us a copy of Case for K9, because Noroi's cost, we can send any face-up K9 cards, and we're going to send something that doesn't remove a monster. That's where we're going to add Case for K9, and activating Case for K9 here. This will provide us with a copy of Izuna into our hand, letting our Jokel in hand be live, because we didn't actually use the effect to summon it out just yet. That was Noroi's effect. Now, using Noroi's effect here, we're going to send the Case for K9 and get a peek at our opponent's hand so that we can play around everything possible. The hand checking knowledge is valuable, and Ripper provides you with the additional insurance so that you don't play into the wrong cards. But if you know that it is safe, that you can continue, then you can activate Jokel to summon out the Izuna, and the Izuna effect will now send the Lupus into the graveyard. The reason why loading up this many K9 monster is a good thing, because the only good ones remaining are the ones in the deck. It's the Izunas that you can still activate as a hand trap, and Lupus is in the graveyard, so that provides you with follow-up anyway. And so when you go for a Saryuja summon now, right, you're not going to be drawing into additional K9 cards, which would be essentially bricks for you. So going into the Saryuja effect, try to leave the arrows open. Be careful if you're playing against Yummy, because this open arrow essentially is a card effect that's going to activate that lets your opponent kind of have a switch to turn on all of the synchro monsters to tag out. But let's get our 4-card draw. We're gonna do a couple of demo draws to see how bricky is this. Will this fix my hand? Well, let's shuffle up and find out. So I'm gonna draw 4 and get to put 3 back. So we got a Holly Sue, a triple tack, a heavy Borger, and a Vanquish Soul start. Based on what I can see here, the cards that I want to put back would be a Molcharmy for sure, and I would like all the correct attributes just like this. Okay, so this definitely works out right here. The talents is like a nice insurance, but like you can judge based off of your opponent's hand. If the talents is going to be good because they have something to interact with you, or they're going to try to, then you can definitely keep your talents. And if you want, you can keep the start. You don't need to play into Mad Love, but if you're going to get Mad Love anyway, you can put this back. I think you can keep the Caesar Valius. This is definitely valid. You can put these back, and you completely fixed your hand this way. Right? Now we can draw another 8-card hand just to kind of give you a demonstration, a more accurate demonstration of what's possible here. So here's the initial 4 cards. Like, okay, well, this is actually not too bad already, but the additional cards that you can get would completely change it up. So we can get another copy of Izuna. We can fix our attributes with this. And Stake Your Soul is just a really nice push, and these we can just get at the end phase, so we can put these back, essentially again fixing up the entire hand. Most of the cards that you have left in the deck, they're mainly just made up of all of your 3-outs, your 3 Holly Sues, the Risens, the Mad Loves, Stake Your Souls. They're all in here in multiples, so that you're likely going to see a copy if you attempt to draw 4 additional cards. That's why this combo is extremely powerful. But what if you need the additional summon? Okay, what if you don't have the Holly Sue or the Stake Your Soul? Well, the copy of Saryuja here, if you just activate Saryuja, you can special summon it onto the arrow, chainlink 1, chainlink 2, and this will provide you with the additional search anyway. So you can get yourself another copy of Holly Sue now. You can link this down, add it back to your hand, Holly Sue effect, reveal the 2. You can do your entire combo anyway, which is why this is extremely powerful and why people are shoving in Saryuja into their extra deck. Alright, so now there's the new Yummy combo with the Marshmao 1-card combo. Sure, it can be a 1-card combo or it can be a 1.5 card combo, but whatever that you do, it makes it so that you can retrieve your surprise a lot easier, and Marshmao also provides you with access to retrieving your banished field spells. Alright, so here's how it's gonna play out in the combo. I'm not really a Yummy player, but I've seen it happen a lot, so we're gonna normal summon out the Marshmao. Okay, or you can play with whatever other Yummy names you have. Link this one into our Yummy Snatchy. Activate the effect of Snatchy. That's gonna place the minion. Minion effect summon back the Marshmao. And this is now going to provide you with a synchro summon of the Cup C Yummy Way. Cup C Yummy Way effect. We're gonna add 2 copies of Yummy monsters. It's gonna be 1 Cup C and 1 Cookie, and you're gonna have to discard the other card because you want additional names in your hand. Next, we're gonna special summon out the Cup C Yummy, and that's gonna add the surprise into hand. Here, immediately activate the surprise, summon back the Marshmao. Marshmao just got summoned back from the graveyard, activating its effect to add the Yummy surprise back into hand. And through this, it kind of feels like you generated a play of Lollipo. And now you can synchro with the Cup C Yummy Way and the Yummy Cup C, and that's going to go into your Metal Marcher. And with your Metal Marcher summons back the Cup C Yummy Way, and with the Metal Marcher and the Marshmao, this provides you with the synchro into the Herald. You can continue to play by special summoning out the Cookie Yummy and linking the Cup C Yummy Way back into the copy of Snatchy, and take this and synchro summon into Lollipo Yummy Way, activating its effect, summoning back 2 Yummies from the graveyard with their effects negated. So you can summon back a Cookie, and you can summon back a Cup C. Link the Cup C away into a Snatchy. So now you have a live Lollipo, a live Arclight, an effect negated Cookie Yummy, which is fine. And there's also a Snatchy that's also live on top, providing you with additional synchro play immediately. Surprises already in the back row, and normally this would require additional resources to kind of push through to actually generate this. But overall, you do have a live one that can respond to reaction, and you can perform synchro, and you have the bouncing effect all together within 1.5 card combo. So they say this is a very significant thing. I think it's pretty wild that this is all generated, not to mention that you typically have 3 additional cards in your hand to kind of go with this. This makes it so that the Link 2, the Ukano Mitsune no Onari, this is not going to be as useful because its entire usefulness kind of got replaced simply with Marshmao, right? So that's why this is very significant.
Next, it's going to be the 1-card DDD combo, and the only thing that makes this combo more difficult to learn is if you open the brick pieces or the pieces that you don't want to see in your hand. They're not typically brick pieces, but it's just pieces that you need to understand how to use them to manipulate your combo. This isn't like old DDD where you had this whole giant spreadsheet. In fact, it was the progenitor of all spreadsheets because it was just so complicated. This one's a lot more streamlined, and they're so strong. It's 1 card, 7 disruption, and play through it very, very easily. So how does this work out? So here's how it is. So we're going to activate our DDD Zero King, the Demise King. This sets up the Dark Contract with the Zero King. We're going to activate the effect to put the Dark Contract with the Zero King onto the field. Activate the Dark Contract with Zero King, destroying the Zero King. This is like a Garunix and Kirin built into 1 card. It's really, really wild. And so the Zero King contract lets you special summon out a DD monster from the deck, and we're going to summon out Savant Kepler. Kepler effect is going to help you get the gate, the Dark Contract with the gate onto the field. With Dark Contract with the gate onto the field, we're going to activate it to add Copernicus into our hand, and we're going to normal summon Copernicus, and we're going to dump into the graveyard one of the newer cards. That's going to be our DD Lance Soldier. Lance Soldier, very much like Lamia, this one can summon itself back out of the graveyard, but luckily this is a level 2 with level modulation effects, so we're going to activate the Lance Soldier from the graveyard, summoning itself out of the graveyard, and also destroying our Dark Contract with the Gate, since this is the one that we can probably keep, because we only play one copy of this, and we play many copies of that. So, with Lance Soldier, we're going to activate to modulate its level, so it changes its level up to the number of Dark Contracts, making this now 4, so this now is an overlayable monster, allowing us to go into DD Wisdom King Solomon effect. Okay, this is going to detach the Land Soldier. Normally, if you summon with the Land Soldier from its own effect, it would banish, but because we overlaid it, that's fine. Using this effect to get a copy of Griffin into hand, and so that was summon number 4. Summon number 5 has to be Marksman King Tell. This is the reason why you can play into a Nibiru no problem. If you have done a burn effect onto yourself because you open with the scale of Ragnarok, you can take the damage, and you can also inflict burn damage back to your opponent through King Tell. But in this case, we're not going to do that. But the reason why you make this, because if this card's sent to the graveyard, it's also not once per turn, you get this do a Foolish Burial effect. So now we're going to put all of this into the graveyard by performing a summon into Gilgamesh. All right, so with Gilgamesh now onto the field, Chain Link 1, likely let's go with Marksman, and Chain Link 2, let's go with Gilgamesh, because if they're going to imperm us, they're going to imperm us no matter what. So this is going to make this one more protected, the Marksman. So Chain Link 2, we're going to set up the scales. It's going to be Orthus, and it's going to be Ragnarok. You don't really want these cards in your hand because this one has to set up a double scale, so there's limitations, but you do get to manipulate like 0s and 5s, I don't know, 0s and 10s, if only you want to go in that direction. But Ragnarok is the best one to place on the scale, but this is the worst card to open in your hand. Now with that, we have a bit of a setup here. Yes, your opponent could have negated this, but you also have the King Tell here that we have to finish the effect, which throws the Necro Slime into the graveyard. So now with the Necro Slime, this is what it looks like. Even if this didn't work out, this would have put the Necro Slime. You can go for Genghis, you have the special summon, you can start rebuilding the board after Nibiru, and that's why it's not too bad. But if you do get hit by Nibiru, you lose out on one of your end board disruptions. Okay, it could be the King Solomon, it could be the Zeus on the board, it could be like the Machine X. Something is not landing on the field because of the Nibiru, but you'll still have 3 monsters on the field at the end, and that still can equate to about 6 disruptions. But continuing the play here, we're going to activate the Griffin to special summon itself out onto the field. Okay, and this is like the point where if they don't Nibiru you now, this is almost like fiendsmithing someone, like, oh, I'm about to make something that negates Nibiru, like they have to hit it, and you take this opportunity to perform your Link Summon. Your Link Summoning up now into Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. So this is really annoying for the opponent. This provides you with a double pendulum summon as long as you're able to destroy a Dark Contract or a DDD monster. Okay, and yeah, this is also like a negate for stuff activating in the hand. That's why it's so powerful. But first, what we're gonna do is that we have the Necro Slime in the graveyard. We're gonna activate the Necro Slime and banish the King Tell. Right, that's gonna be our fusion. And our fusion is going to lead us into our Genghis. But we got to summon away from these arrows so that we have space to do pendulum summons. We're going to summon out Genghis now. Okay. And with the Genghis already summoned, now we can use the first pendulum summon to summon out the Griffin into the arrow. And this will allow for the Genghis to special summon back our tuner monster, which is going to be the DD Land Soldier. With the Land Soldier and the Griffin, now we have a 4 and a 2. This allows us to do a Synchro Summon into the new monster. All right. That's going to be the Founding King Clovis. Clovis effect, special summon from our banish. So our King Tell can come back onto the field. And with this, you can overlay these two and make your Wave King Caesar. So if they couldn't hit you with the Nibiru then, they definitely can't hit you with the Nibiru now. So with the King Tell here, we've got ourselves a bit of a setup. We have not used our Ragnarok just yet. So now you're going to activate DDD, Sky King, Zeus, Ragnarok. We're going to destroy the King Tell. This will provide us with the second pendulum summon. And King Tell got sent to the graveyard. And because something got destroyed, our Demise King activate. This will allow us to put the Defense Soldier into the graveyard. Special summon out the Demise King. I'll summon it. I guess we can summon into here. It doesn't really matter. We just need 2 spots for the pendulum summon anyway. And because a monster that is DD named got special summon, we get to special summon out our defense soldier. And with the defense soldier special summon, we're gonna take 1,000. So we took 1,000 from the original DDD Gilgamesh. We're gonna take another 1,000 from Ragnarok, but luckily we're not gonna be losing in time anymore, right? This allows us to get this out on board, and using defense soldier's effect, we're going to take one of our scales and summon it onto the field. So now we got the Orthus onto the field, and this is a tuner. This is not a tuner. We're going to perform a synchro summon into Siegfried. This is an end board monster. We need to 2 zones here. We can now activate the defense soldier's graveyard effect, which allows us to banish the defense soldier and add back from our graveyard or from our face-up extra deck a pendulum monster. So we're gonna go for Copernicus. We're gonna activate it, and don't forget we haven't used our second pendulum summon, so we're gonna use our second pendulum summon to summon out Orthus and Griffin. Next part here, we're gonna overlay this because we want to set up our second contract. So this is gonna go into the regular DDD Wave King Caesar, and with that we're going to overlay it one more time, or link summon one more time. We'll summon it into our other copy of Gilgamesh. Wave King Caesar is now going to activate, and this will provide us with the contract. So we can get the Dark Contract with the Witch. Here it is. And we can set that onto the field. And with the Gilgamesh here as a DDD name, this will give us the Machine X. And this is the kind of end board that we're looking at. And so if you want to look at disruption count, there is the Sky Zeus. That's going to be your negation on activation in the hand. All it needs to do is banish a DD monster with a Dark Contract out of the graveyard. The other thing is that you have Machine X to absorb monsters twice. So there's 2 disruptions. So this 1, this is 2, 3, 4 for the spells, 5, 6 for the monster, 7 if your DD cards get destroyed, and it will get destroyed at some point, because if your DDD monster gets destroyed or your Dark Contract gets destroyed, which can happen from the Machine X, it's going to happen. And you also have a copy of Dark Contract with the Witch to bypass, say, Dark Ruler No More, because if they activate Dark Ruler No More, you can activate Dark Contract with the Witch just to flip it face up and then chain Siegfried to turn off that Dark Ruler. And that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. We're going to try out some games, test it out in the early stages, and we'll ramp it up as we get into the format. As soon as the cards get released, then we'll take it up a notch into a more serious and more competitive level. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to get access to the proxies, it's available on my Patreon. They're all nice, easy to cut sheets and perfectly sized. You guys need them. You guys want to try them. Even Hecka Hands and Killer Tune, those are also there too. So if you guys want to try them out, it's there. Check it out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.